Welcome to the Chatting Chakras podcast, where we get our inspiration from chakras, yoga, art, and sacred space of friends. Here's your hosts ready to rock the rainbow with you, Christina Alexa, Lani Voivod, and Kate LeMay.
All right, well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Chatting Chakras. And I am here with my two dear friends. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves today? It's my favorite part of the show. Go ahead.
Yeah, I will. I'm Lani Voivod, wearer of opera sleeves for those times when it's 16 degrees out in your office and you're like, I have an uncomfortable space between my elbow. And it's, as you see, it's a color green. So we're celebrating the Heart Chakra, which we'll be discussing today. Thank you, Melissa McCarthy, for in the studio, purchased locally by my husband, given to me. Like, when will I ever wear opera sleeves? And yet,
are they gloves?
Well, Kate, I'm glad you asked. They are. They go. They leave the fingers like exposed, thumbs, but they go up as high as you want. They're just like, you know.
Do they come in all the ready for colors?
I don't know. I've not seen them available. They were given as a gift. And now today they are my favorite things in the world because they feel like, I was telling Christina, they feel like a little hug for your forearms. Maybe that's,
yeah.
They're soft and that, you know, I think we can agree they're super cool.
Yeah.
So, like when you're ready to up level, but you're like not in jewelry or not in, you're like, well, why not opera sleeves? Opera sleeves.
Okay. I love that, Lani. Thank you. Christina.
So Lonnie's already making my dreams come true. We were talking about this earlier. I have wanted those kinds of gloves for years. Now, talk about manifestation. I know where to go. I already went to Melissa McCarthy's website and subscribed. So, and you can buy online. So my thing today is I am every day right now waking up and saying, you know, because we talked about this, name ourselves every day. I'm naming myself what I want to manifest. So today, my name is Christina Alexa, published author. I'm working on my writing. So I really want to accomplish a few more projects on that front.
Wow. We are very happy to hear this, published author, Christina
So
Alexa.
is Lionel Richie.
Published author in the future, but now, yeah.
Yes.
I am. We are public. We're all published now, but.
I love that. A lot. Wow, there's a lot happening already, and we're not even.
Yes, remember, yeah. You got 3 books on Amazon already.
Right, we're already published, Christina.
Yes.
We just forget.
So now just the next book is ready. Remember, yes, the next book is ready. So excited because you know what? You are like literally my favorite author. So it's gonna work out very well.
Work out well. It's great. I'm just gonna be Kate LeMay again today.
How about Kate LeMay, doer of evening yoga, effortless evening yoga?
Yes, Kate LeMay, practitioner in yoga, artist of conscious evolution. There I am, making my way in the world.
Just remind you, Kate, you know, just in case.
Making my way in the world today takes everything you got.
Everything you got. Boop, boop.
Okay.
Oh, and singer.
And oh yes, don't forget I'm in a band with Jenna and you guys, maybe if we all get our act together. Okay, so we are talking today about the heart chakra. Is this correct?
Yes.
And, so the first time we did this, we hit untangle. And this round on our downward toward manifestation, we are working with letting go. So I will read for us today. I heard. So letting go. This is an image of 2 strong arms that had been holding onto something tightly and are now releasing their grip and letting go. Relax, release, and let go. You are peace and love. and love is always around you. Free it from your grasp and feel the change from holding to letting go. And the mantra is, I am surrounded by love. And as Christina normally does, I'm going to reread the last section. Relax, release, and let go. You are peace and love is always around you. Free it from your grasp and feel the change from holding to letting go. This is kind of crazy because this morning when I was listening, I've been walking in the frigidness and listening to this book for the last couple of days of my life. And literally, this is what the topic was today, except he was talking about, he actually was talking about an exercise where if you like held a tennis ball, I have an eraser bag. This should work.
Share the book that you're reading.
Oh, I am reading The Joy of Genius. It's a teeny little book. I'm listening to it mostly, but I also have this because it has exercises in it. The next step beyond the big leap. So it's about expanding and growing into the next level of yourself and not sabotaging it as part of that process. Because what this guy's thesis is, it's Gay Hendricks, is that a new way to end negative thinking and liberate your true creativity. So essentially saying that you spend so much time that you don't have the place for the expansion. And so you sabotage it because you can't handle, your energetic being just literally can't handle your level of expansion when absolutely you can. And he has tools for like, what does that look like? How do you, so one of them is about, letting go. So when you grip and hold really tight and you feel that sensation versus if you just like let something go, that sensation. And it literally, he was talking about this morning. I obviously didn't realize this is what we were talking about. And I was having images of teaching this at staff training, like these kind of practices that he talks about in staff training. And I'm thinking, yeah, I'm just going to teach everybody all this stuff, like exercises to do so that they physically understand these concepts. So that's cool.
And I kind of want you to just keep going. Like you're going to share some exercises here. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I'm just like, go.
Well, see this card. So you can see here, these are the strong arms. Okay. And this is the stuff it's letting go. And this was actually a painting about love. And it was about love that I couldn't have anymore. It was like love that I was like holding on to with my last pinky. And it was an unhealthy hold. And I needed to let go of it. And I did let go. And it actually freed me so much. But I have this card, I feel very deeply that it is also connected to the idea of loss and grief. So like when you lose someone and you can't come to an acceptance that they are gone and you are trying to hold on to the loved one, that can cause an immense amount of pain versus coming to a place of knowing that you are constantly. So like when you look at the mantra for this one, I am surrounded by love. And I mean, it sounds super philosophical to be like, oh, the person is always there to love you. And I myself have not had very much direct relationship with loss of love in the physical realm. But that's when I painted this painting, there was two components. One, it's that gripping. So it's like, I feel like we as beings, when we completely let something go, we have so much more access to love than when we are trying to control and hold it and make it something that it's not. Does this even make any sense?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. So many things. Lani, were you going to go?
No, go. I remember you're like so many things. I will stay silent.
Well, just a quick dart over to the staff training idea. A really fun exercise is that the heavier the burden or the reaction that we have, pick up the heavier rock and let the rock go. So you can feel the weight of it,
Mm.
you know? So if it's a small thing, it's a small thing. But if it's a big thing, go grab a big rock and feel the weight of it, you know, feel it all the way in your core and let that go. There's so much symbolism in that. And it is a really beautiful exercise.
Mm.
And also backtracking to, I'm often tuning into this place myself, which is what you're saying here: relax, release, let go. But you are peace and love is always around you. That speaks to me really strongly today, because what if we, especially when we're feeling separated and maybe not supported or afraid in our lives, or if we're feeling fabulous, what if we close our eyes and imagine that the very air that surrounds us has a presence, which it does, but imagine that the very air around us has a presence, and that it's a loving presence.
Mm.
And it changes how we move through our day, because then when we're walking through the air, it's like the air is parting for us and enveloping us like Lani's gloves, right? We have this love hug all day long from the very air around us. So those two little things came in for me, but that place around grasping and letting go is so powerful, Kate, because there's so much trust that comes in that process. And even if it's related to grief, if we're able to open that closed fist, or able to open that heart and let our loved ones go, those who have passed, or if you've been through separation through relationship, this space that is created around that is real. And the quality of feeling shifts from all the darkness leaves the grief, and all the darkness leaves the grasping when we let go. And then we can feel the real grief. And it's so pure. And I think that we forget that in authentic pain, there's actually beauty. There's great beauty when in grief. And in authentic joy, there's pain, right? So it's like when somebody's dying, you think, oh, that's the most horrible thing in the world. But really, no, there's so much beauty in dying. And then when a baby's being born, you think, oh, what a fabulous experience. But there's so much pain and trauma in birth, even for the baby. Like, what a shock coming into the world. So it's the yin and the yang. It's both at all times. So that letting go process, and I won't keep going on it at this moment, but tuning into the heart chakra and knowing that the quality of the heart chakra is just to tie it into unconditional love. And I love this explanation that I heard once. It's not that we have to find or learn unconditional love. It's that we remember that we are already that. It's just a remembrance that underneath everything else, we are already that. That's in our base operating system, right? We are unconditional love. And so to discover that will help with that letting go process.
That was so well expressed. I have seen this card work magic, this painting work magic on several of my friends, and one of them comes to mind specifically. And when she experiences the card, or first, I think this was the first painting, the first necklace that she was drawn to, because since she started having children, she has 3 beautiful boys now. Her firstborn child came in with some health issues, and it just changed her life. And she just stepped into the divine mother role, like, unlike, it was astounding to watch her own transition. And since the moment of her becoming a mother, I think what you said, like, there's pain in the baby in the birthing process, but what she is, the love was so, once you start loving at such a profound level, the fear is there if you turn toward it, right? The fear of what if I lose? How is this going to change me? Am I capable of this amount of love? And how can I one day consider letting go, whatever that means, like letting go, whether the fear is health, or devastation, or just letting your child progress to the next level, not having them in your arms, in your home space. This is the card that I think helped her see that and feel that and process it and resonate with it. So I'm hearing how the art, is born through you, Kate, in one way, and how I've seen it like as a distinct power meditation for moms who are, whether empty nest, transitioning to the empty nest, or even the thought of the empty. I mean, she's been practicing the empty nest thing for literally 17 years, I think it respects the journey and helps with that journey, especially, it's such an interesting interpretation visually, like those beautiful, I love it's like, I love how this image came through, because it's not conventional, and yet I feel like it is so clear. It's so clear, because the mom, it has a lot of mom, divine mother energy in it.
It's fun to have this one come up on our manifestation current too, because in order to manifest in our lives, our dreams and our visions and our fulfillment, there has to be a letting go process. There must be space.
I think you're touching too on like something that definitely is in here, but I don't know if it has been overtly said, which is the combination of fear and love, and how this, why are we so afraid to let the grip go, right? Let it go. And it's because what are we afraid of? We're afraid that we won't get it anymore, that it won't be as strong, that we won't have that love, that it will feel bad, that, I don't know, fill in the blank with like the 87 million reasons why we grip, right? I'm too afraid to let go. So this sort of combination of love and fear, but said through looking through the lens of letting go to allow, almost like, look at the layers we get in trust, in genuine feeling of love and security, and the gifts that this thing speaks to around you are surrounded by love. Like when we actually understand that we are holding on to something that probably, I think what I am referencing in the painting, which we're dancing around a little in this conversation, is just that it actually hurts more when you grip. You suffer more if you're gripping to not feel the next, because what would this require? Letting go would require us to trust that our child is going to be okay in the world, or trust that we are going to be okay when they go into the world, or trust that our life will continue on having more life. I think there is a level at this card that it is probably one of the deepest cards, in the sense that when I think about things that I can't fathom, like the loss of a child, like as a mother, like say you lose your child when they're 6 or 3 or 8, and you see parents that they summon a way to continue to live in a beautiful way in the world, even with something that most of us would say that would break me, or the loss of anything where we're like, that would be beyond my capacity to understand how to function on this planet right now with that much loss. And this card, this is part of what this is talking about. So if you were to correlate anything in your life that you're holding on to because you think if you let go of it, you're going to die, that is what it's talking about, which seems like a lot. Like, I'm like, whoa, that's a lot. And truthfully, when I painted this card, I did not realize that the arms were part of the heart chakra, right? Like I was so new. And so there was a day one time, Christina, where you explained to me that you're like, yes, and when you pray, you're connecting the unit of the heart chakra. And when you're hugging someone, you're hugging them with your heart. When you shake their hand, your heart to heart. And I was like, what? Like, that's incredible that the extension in our body is our arms, you know, that imagine if the heart is holding so fiercely, like imagine if you're holding so tightly, nothing is going anywhere because you've stopped the current, you know, from like flowing out, you know, you're gripping so hard that there's nothing more to go give. And so I guess, if anyone here today is listening to this and you feel yourself gripping onto anything, it could be anything. It doesn't have to be something so deep and traumatic as the loss of a loved one. It could be, I'm gripping onto the idea that where I live or this job that I do or, you know, whatever defines me, it is me. And if I let it go, I won't be or know me. That the reminder here in the mantra is I am surrounded by love. So to Christina's point about, you know, I could feel it as you were describing, Christina, the air touching and enveloping me as if it was love, like it is love. And what feels different, if that's what we feel, we of course can relax and let go when that's what we know.
And there's a safety net and gives a new feeling and meaning to love. Loves through us. When you're just talking about the grip, Kate, we can't possibly, and if we all, you know, if anyone listening to this wants to close your eyes and bring in a really, really tight fist, what does that feel like? Could feel like it's intensity, possession, anger, but there's fear in that grip. And then you open up and there's no more fear. So it's a willingness to let go of fear. But when we're gripping, we're not loving, we're living in fear. There's an expression, love equals loss. And I think that when we get to the point in our evolution, our emotional and spiritual evolution, where we are tested, nobody wants to be tested around this place because we don't want to let go of our fear. It might mean that loss is afoot. It's scary. And yet in those moments when that happens, sometimes that's what it takes for us to realize that, oh, love doesn't equal loss. What if on the other side of the coin of love, there was only love? Why does the other side of the coin of love have to be fear? Why does it's like the crown chakra is not masculine or feminine. Does love have to have a polar opposite? And I remember the time in my life, it's funny enough, starting with talking about writing, in one of our Live and Love books that we did, doing that deep dive into the moment in which I don't have to go into now, but the moment in my life, I remember where I was standing and what I was looking at when I realized that I can redefine love for myself. And it was at the deepest part of letting go. And in that moment of facing the fear and realizing that we can redefine love for ourselves, whatever, well, we probably have talked about it last time we were in Heart Chakra, because this comes up for me in Heart Chakra. But just to put a fresh spin on it, are the ways that we pattern ourselves in relationships are usually based on our primary relationships as children. And so the primary caretakers, mom, dad, or grandparents, or whoever, foster parents or adoptive parents, a school nurse, or whoever it is that gave you love as a child, that relationship with love is how we tend to pattern our relationships later in life. So it's very root chakra origin, caretaker origin stuff. And sometimes those love relationships when we're young are complex, but it teaches us how to love or how to fear. And it's always good to be loved no matter what and to experience love. But there's a point as we mature where we can sort of look at that and say, am I really loving here, or am I in a pattern? Right? Because the patterns are what cause us to grip and hold on really tight out of fear. And then if I'm in a pattern with relationships in my life, doesn't mean the relationships have to change, but can my relationship with love change? And can I make a decision that love doesn't have to equal loss, which is the same as saying I have the courage to face my fear and to let go and see what comes back. All the grace comes in that letting go, all of the grace in loosening that grip. But that powerful moment of realizing, oh, love doesn't have to equal loss, because even if I do lose, I can love through the loss, right? Even if I do lose. And for me, without going into the full story, it happened around losing everything. But one of the things I lost was my marriage, my husband, who I love dearly. And I went, oh, I can still love. I've told this story before for healing purposes. I can still love him. I can still love the hell out of him and not even talk to him. I can still love so completely that love is loving through me. And then I haven't lost anything. I've gained myself. So no matter what we've lost, love anyway. That's why we have memorial services and celebrations. We want to go and love the one we lost, right? Together in community. But again, it could be small and it could be a large thing.
I love is love and love anyway. You know, like that's real. That's really powerful.
Yeah, there's some, I don't know which guru it's attributed to, but the quote, only love is real. When you were talking like that, that is two sides of the coin. You know, that idea in and of itself is the game changer. You know, if you allow the idea that everything else can melt away and it's not love versus all these threatening emotions or, you know, what things that attack us or want to strip away our joy, that it is only love, and we can release everything that is not love. It's certainly an interesting way to spend your day with that one thought or your lifetime.
Yeah. Well, ladies, do you think we've said what we need to say about letting go?
I think it's so complete. This is a short one today,
Great.
but I feel
I do feel pretty. What about you, Lani? Do you have anything else to add?
I had a lot of thoughts, and then I leaned in to stay present, and they all went away. So they must not have mattered.
to go back to your writing here, Kate, your channeled writing. The word peace just jumped out at me. Now that we've discussed love and love is not loss, and the letting go space, you are peace and love. The peace comes when we let go. So the peace part of love comes when we do the letting go. Just a little. I love that you put that in there. And also, you say, sorry, Lani.
No, you go.
Second. Feel the change from holding to letting go. That's really simple. We don't have to even worry. Am I letting go? Just feel the change, like witness the process. How does that feel? Like letting go of a big rock. Go ahead, Lani.
That's pretty much, you're very good. That's exactly the only thing I wanted to underscore what was said earlier is the sensation. Like once, this is an interesting card because you can link it pretty incredibly with the sensation in your body as an example to lead you. I mean, whether you're talking about in yoga practice or sitting there in the chair, like just the invitation. I've never thought to, if I'm feeling a burden or feeling a heaviness, to go pick a rock and just like do that one time or 100 times to get the sensation of letting go. Sometimes, our biomechanics are so fascinating where we are invited to understand that we don't have to feel good before we smile. Sometimes the best way to feel better is to smile, which activates an awareness in our physical structure that tells our chemicals and our cells to arrive in a different state. I mean, you see these tips in coaching programs for business executives that to feel powerful, you don't have to summon the feeling of power. You can give the signals. You got to know your signals in your power stance, which is shoulders back, heart open, arms down, feet grounded. You know, these are things we see all the time in the world. Mostly they're not attached to a conversation of the chakras. That is the only way I feel them and see them now. Like I only see them as root, you know, feel the power in my solar plexus, relax through the heart center, you know, get ready to speak my truth, connect with crown, you know, make my third eye available for clarity, feel that, and allow yourself to co-create, you know, and collaborate with the universe. And I think this particular card of letting go, when often during practice, like in Warrior One or whatnot, I'll just say, let's, you know, radiate through the fingers, bring the elbows down to the hips, make fists real tight, get that energy. Like, I love that you started this conversation where you mentioned, feel that constriction, so yes, you're charging, but it's constriction. You're feeling power. Power is a wonderful thing. And you're holding, and you know, in your writing, it says 2 strong arms. So you're charging it up. But I'll tell you, when that release, when the teacher, or when the moment, or when the invitation is now let go, everything, the breath flows more easily, the sensations through the capillaries, like your whole, you know, your whole heart fills with an ease and grace and a gratitude. Let's throw in gratitude. So, you know, life is going to give us places where we need to hold tight for a little bit. When you can, let go. And if you can practice the, you know, before game time, so to speak, you can practice the awareness and sensation in the body through yoga or through however, you know, whatever your practices are, of understanding that as we practice, so we can arrive in the places of time and space that challenge us, excite us, you know, drive us to madness, drive us to grace, that we maybe can bring the physicality of our understanding, putting the, what do they say, putting the horse before the cart, like rather, you know, like understand that we can be our own heroes in these moments because we practice the sensation and the understanding awarenesses when we weren't in the fire. That is all.
That is all. Wow. I'm so glad you brought in really grounding this, Lani. And I was seeing, before you were talking about it, and it came right through you, I was seeing being in a Warrior One, you know, and just opening your arms or some kind of a posture, it doesn't even matter, and shifting from, oh, whatever the chatter is saying, to this and this expression. And you described it so beautifully, and tying in even the strong arms. And yes, sometimes we do need to grip, and then we let go. So thank you. It's beautiful.
You even had the perfect costume on for it.
You know what? That was all BS. That was just an excuse to bring my
costume. Well, it really worked well. And I think, you know, what this nods to is that all it takes is one conscious breath to be aware of where we are gripping, right? So we are talking a lot today about the arms, but that conscious awareness, or, you know, the conscious breath of where in other spots in our body are we gripping, and we can let go. So this one, we happen to be talking about the heart chakra. I think this is not an accident that, you know, we can like use this tool to express this idea. with love and fear and loss and courage and willingness, all kind of like swimming around in this idea. But you can do
Don't
it.
close yet.
Okay.
Don't close yet. Okay, keep going, but just don't shut it off yet because I had one more thing.
Go
ahead. No, I mean, keep going.
No. Well, that's just that you can grip in all parts of your body. You can grip in any chakra. Oh, I notice I am gripping in my bowel area or like whatever, like you can grip. And then if we become aware that we're gripping, I wonder if this little metaphor here about being aware that we're gripping, and maybe if we were to say, hey, I'm going to consciously relax and let go and know that I'm going to be all right, that I'm surrounded by love, and that, we say it like I'm surrounded by love, but like the truth is like, can you ground yourself in that for real? And then just see what happens. Like, why are we holding on so tight? I bet there's a lot of nuggets in there. Go ahead, Lani.
Well, I was just saying, in your creation journey, Kate, like how you did each set at a time. You did ones, you didn't do a bunch of reds at a time. You did each set, like one set, and then another set came through, another way to study the material. Is that right? Or
well, the first time I did it, they all came through by color. And the second time I organized the process, and then I did it.
And then you brought them, because last week we did thought pop. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I can't help but like, for me, visually and energetically, I don't think it's an accident that we have thought pop and letting go, like as friends, just even the visual representation of the ideas and the popping are, ascending.
Yes.
Green, I feel like green is the alchemist chakra, the one, in between liberation and manifestation, and the one that it's the what do they call? What's the New York subway, the station? It's Grand Central Station of the chakras, right?
Yes.
Like it's the place where the energies change. So like we have thought pop moving up with this design and a little like letting go of the thoughts. And then we have letting go, moving, dropping to the earth. I just feel like there's a relationship with these. So if the artist would like to speak a little bit there, they seem like good buddies.
They are good buddies. And then we spin into stillness below, which is a sort of another
another swirl,
and also like this idea of like, so one is rising up and going away, the other is dropping and going down, and spinning to stillness is just moving into one place and settling.
Oof.
That's kind of weirdo.
That's a nice trio team.
I never noticed
look at more than that. We have in this journey in Crown, I am enough. I'm just going to read the mantra. I am enough. In third eye, wing perceiver, I see. Thought pop, I listen. I am surrounded by love. I allow stillness. There's room for everything I desire. That's abundance. And then path is the next one, right, Kate?
Oh, safety.
Oh, is it safety? I am safe.
Oh,
and
yeah, this is
not my thought actually. That's really, if you just line up all those mantras and you just line up that set, that's how it works.
Does this set have a name, Kate?
Yeah, so this would be the second set. This is the clarity set. So, yep. So the first, because I did the sets on the way down as a manifesting current. So the number one we did last, the last round was all about the highest like possibility was the first one. The second one is clarity. And so this is how to get clear.
Yeah.
We always say, people will sometimes ask me, well, what if I'm feeling really disconnected, really unsafe and really disconnected, which is a sign that if you're in separation and feeling alone, it's a sign that you're closed in your heart chakra. And I always say, go down to your root, go down to your root and ground and And when you feel safe, that's when your crown will open and you have it. Wholeness is I'm enough, right? We go and tell ourselves I'm enough. And in root, it's I'm safe. It's so beautiful. And I just wanted to also quickly say, based on something Lani, I can't remember what you're saying, but it just made me want to tack on this little idea that the time to let go is when you feel the most unsafe letting go, right? So even if you are feeling absolutely alone and separated, that is definitely the time to let go, and the support will flow. This, I promise, the support will flow if you relax into this space that Kate's talking about. And don't forget, I think we did it in Heart Chakra last time we visited on the liberation current, but if we rub our hands and then just cross our forearms over our heart and put our palms to our heart, lift the ribs and drop the chin and close our eyes, then look at your palms just, on your pecs there, on your forward wings, and just feel. You'll feel your own heart. You will feel the love, even if you think you're lost in your mind. I do this every single day, sometimes more than once a day if I need it, and do it for that, good 12 seconds or more, because it's good to remember what this feels like. You're not broken. We are not broken if we can't feel our heart or figure out how to let go. Just feel your heart. It's always operational.
It's beautiful.
I didn't mean to detract either, Kate, from this.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I think it's a beautiful, and honestly, I think the next round of like, how do these things, because all this stuff was so channeled that, to be really honest, I don't really like the integration and the way things come together. Like, I'm still on a discovery journal with it all, like it's a journey that I'm like, as long as it entertains me and I'm feeling connected with it, I'll just keep playing until I understand the depth of the work that it is. And, looking at this set, I know when I put them together, it was very conscious, right? But then their stitchings are still, as we've said, you could study your entire lifetime on one of these concepts, let alone as they go together, let alone as tools for, possibility, or tools for, in this current of clarity, like this entire set being a gift. And I think we would all agree that you can literally put anything together in some kind of combination and make it be like, have a meaning that allows you to explore a side of yourself that empowers you, or you can equally look at anything and allow it to be a thing that drains energy from you. But this idea of that, we have tools of the mind, tools of the body, tools of the spirit that can guide us into what we really are in this space and time, in this cycle and season, and to understand, how does this fit with my current navigation in the planet? And this particular system with chakras and ideas of our body being a tool of a communication mechanism, like, oh, my arms, my heart, and also that it has an energetic level, and it has a, it can give us so much that I think it's why we all dig it so much. Plus it's pretty, like, I love colors, and that, so I feel like you can go. And as we know, Lani and I are in YT, the 300 hour with Christina right now. And I mean, I feel like every day I'm like, what is happening? There is so many layers and so many gifts and so many things to learn about. And really it's because that the learning and the connecting does allow me to feel more comfortable being me, allow my body to be a guiding tool to understand and navigate my world, and to not override things that I'm understanding.
Hi, Chatting Chakra friends. Kate LeMay here. We did have a bit of technical difficulties at the end of this episode, so I'm sorry you don't get the traditional goodbye from our friends, but goodbye from me. And I hope we see you next week. Please let us know in the comments below if you had any thoughts or if any of this resonated with you, if you have any questions. And we can't wait to see you next week. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Thanks for listening. Find us on social media at The Chatting Chakra Show and at www.katelemay.com. Check back weekly for new episodes where we are always celebrating enjoying the journey.